It's Monday, March 18th, 2019, and time for your Barbados Today Morning News Update. Thanks for joining us. I'm Carol Williams. The murder toll for the year has now risen to 18. This with last night's shooting death of 2 people in Rice to St. Philip. We get more from the police.
We received a phone call sometime around 8 p.m. tonight, being Sunday the 17th of March, at our operations control, of a report of 2 masked men around the residence located here at Rice to St. Philip. A police unit responded, and on their arrival they discovered the body of a female motionless at the front door of the residence that's right adjacent to the main road. Police immediately summoned the ambulance and we checked for vitals. A further search was made of the immediate area, and the body of a male was discovered just on the outside of the said residence. Both persons were checked for vital signs of life, and when the ambulance arrived, the EMTs and the paramedics confirmed that there were no signs of life to either of the 2 individuals.
Earlier last night, Minister of Home Affairs Edmund Hinkson joined the chorus of people pleading with residents with information on crimes to come forward.
We'll be hearing that a lot of stuff of illegal means in old cars and fridges and things. We got to clear these old cars and fridges because we can't let these gunmen succeed, you know.
In other news, Minister Hinkson has strongly defended government's policy towards skilled CARICOM nationals working in Barbados. The Home Affairs Minister says detractors need to stop acting as if Barbadians are being disadvantaged. He was addressing a Barbados Labour Party meeting last night. In brushing aside criticisms, Minister Hinkson said there haven't been more than 200 certified skilled nationals from the Caribbean community moving to Barbados in any specific year since the country began recognizing certain categories of workers in 2006. And between that year and 2018, there have been less than 2,000 overall.
So all we said now 2 Friday nights ago in amending the CARICOM Skilled Nationals Act is that spouses now of CARICOM skilled nationals who can come in here and work with their accreditation without work permit can come into Barbados and work without a work permit. So ain't wrong with that. I already tell you, it never exceeds 200 a year. Alright? In a lot of cases, sometimes not even 100, a short year, 15 and 16. So how many CARICOM skilled nationals are going to be married, you think? Well, not all of them married. And some of them, even if they're married, they won't bring their husband or wife anyway. So how many spouses going to come in here now, it is, and be allowed to work without work permit, you think, each year? That we keep in real noise about, like if now this is we have done the greatest injustice to Barbados now. It is few. And again, it's a basic human rights, you know.
There's some sobering advice from one of the region's champions in the fight for reparations from Britain. Professor Sir Hilary Beckles says history has shown that weak, disorganized people never receive reparations. In a recent lecture on the matter, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies compared situations in India and Jamaica, where the people were slaughtered over land. The historian said India demanded an apology from Britain and received it, unlike Jamaica, where there wasn't even a conversation.
Reparations is an outcome of the organized, the committed, the dedicated, and those who have a high regard for the dignity of their ancestors. We have not reached that stage as yet, where we are prepared to stand for justice for our ancestors. We haven't reached that stage. We are getting there because we are evolving out of the darkness. We are evolving.
Residents are today paying more for gasoline and diesel. From midnight, the price of diesel increased 20 cents per litre to $3.09, while gasoline went up 1 cent to $3.57 per litre. The prices of kerosene and liquid petroleum gas remain unchanged. The way has been paved for companies listed on the Barbados Stock Exchange, BSE, to trade in Guyana, and for those in Guyana to do the same here. This has been facilitated through an agreement that was signed just days ago. BSE Managing Director Marlon Yard says the liberalization of interest rates within the commercial banking system and government's debt restructuring program have left many investors seeking new opportunities.
There's regional and international news after this short break.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
Turning attention to Venezuela, which will be the focus of talks between Russian and United States diplomats who are due to meet in Rome tomorrow. Russia is sticking to its position that U.S. military intervention in the South American country will be inappropriate. The U.S., which has recognized the opposition leader Juan Guaido as the country's leader, has applied sanctions to increase the pressure on President Nicolas Maduro. Al Jazeera takes a look at the impact of those sanctions.
The first sanctions that prevented Venezuela from negotiating its debt came after Venezuela already had one of the highest risks in the world. The risk was because of the drop in oil prices, and the government continued with the same policies. Venezuela continued spending when it already had billions of dollars in debt.
But in January this year, the U.S. announced new sanctions with the objective to choke Venezuela's economy even more. This time, they have had a direct impact on Venezuelan oil exports.
The U.S. financial system has tentacles around the world, so any commercial operation that has anything to do with Venezuela will be affected. Any transaction that is in U.S. dollars will be affected. Now the real sanctions begin.
The U.S., the European Union and other countries in the region recognize opposition leader Juan Guaido as Venezuela's interim president. The U.S. has said it wants to force Maduro out of office and hope the new sanctions will help speed up the process.
The United States is betting on a total collapse of the country, and it has been disappointing. It has been applied in Cuba and Iran and North Korea. Yes, the government got weaker. They have complications, but the government didn't change.
And finally, on the international scene, the death toll from a cyclone continues to rise as southern African countries struggle to deal with the devastating aftermath of the torrential downpours. The powerful storm has killed at least 64 people in Zimbabwe, while in neighboring Mozambique, the death toll jumped to at least 48. We get the details from TRT World.
More than 1 million people in 3 countries have been affected by Cyclone Idai. Hardest hit is Mozambique's port city of Beira. Many homes have been destroyed, electricity is cut, and the airport closed.
I saw a woman being hit by debris. It's not safe for people walking here. The situation is very chaotic.
Government implemented the curfew from 11 a.m., but we are outside anyway.
After hitting Mozambique, Idai moved west into Zimbabwe and Malawi. Malawi's government estimates almost 83,000 people have been forced from their homes. The army is airlifting food into areas that can't be reached by road.
We're happy that food aid has started to arrive. 25 bags of rice arrived yesterday.
The South African government has sent a plane with medical personnel to help with relief operations in Mozambique and Malawi. There's plenty of recovery work ahead.
And that's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook. And sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Izumi Media in bus terminals, as well as screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM. I'm Carol Williams. Have a good day.